All right. Hello. Well, I'm here to talk about this spreadsheet, which will hopefully be helpful to some of you in terms of setting a budget. Most of the, I feel as though the layout's fairly self-explanatory, so I'll just get right into showing like an example of how to use it. So let's say you're starting in January, you're paying 2,500 in tuition. Your parents, don't worry too much about those numbers going crazy at the moment. Your parents are going to give you $400 for the month. You previously had $6,000 saved up. You do part-time work and earn $750 a month. You're not on a loan, so your income is the sum of your part-time work, your loan, and your any awards you receive, so scholarships. So let's say you received $500 scholarship as well. Yeah, you. So that's your total income for the month. Let's say that you're going to work steadily until March. You can just drag those over, and then it will add them up as well. And your family contributions. Your parents are going to give you money until April, after which you have to work through the summer, and your parents will also give you money in September, October. We'll get to September and October later now. Or maybe we won't. Maybe you'll be able to fill it in by then. So, tuition's probably not something you have to drag across. Books, because they'd be something that you would pay up front. Books, let's say you budget $400 for books. Other supplies, you're moving back into cluster or moving back into wherever, so maybe you need to buy a whole sort of fridge full of new food. So let's say, or actually that wouldn't be other supplies. Say you need to restock the house in terms of toiletries, shampoo and stuff after having been gone over winter break. So, I don't know, $75. Housing, this is rent. And I will just change that to housing slash rent. If I can. Housing slash rent. Which I think is about $540 in cluster. So put $440 in. Groceries, let's say we're going to estimate that we can live off 105, personal and social, 200, cell phone 50, health, just in case 25, and others 75. So those are projected costs for the school year. So all of those, let's just carry across to start with. Except for other, we'll drop that down to 25 for the following months. And then this will give us our projected budget by the end of April. So April leftover savings. Let's say that you take a loan in February for, I don't know, you're buying a car or something. So you take $15,000 in a loan, and then these at the bottom are just to help you keep tabs on outstanding loan. So I would put the money in negative. Maybe that's too high. Yeah, change the loan. You're gonna buy a car. So what's going on here? Let's going on with that. A good question. 1,500. Sometimes this happens. I think it might just be because the cells are formatted to do funny things. Yeah. There you go. Fixed it. And this will be in the save file. So don't worry about that. And then at the end of January, you would go back through your budget and evaluate it again. So like at the end of January, you're hoping to have $370 $3,710, but let's say tuition has actually gone up, as it frequently does, and you actually spend that much on tuition. So you would enter in like the actual values, but you spent less on books than you thought you would. Other supplies ended up being more. Housing and rent, do precisely. Groceries and food, you ended up spending quite a bit more. And social especially, because you're seeing all your friends, you spent more money than you had hoped to, which is not surprising. You enter your specific cell phone value. You don't end up using the health budget, you put through 0. And you decided that for a new course you wanted to buy a tablet. So let's say you spent money on a tablet, you spent money on parking, your parking, or under other things that could go into other. If you took the ferry to go back to see your family on the weekend, or something like that, let's just throw all that in and say that you spent. With the exception of other, I would say try to stick to these as much as you can, and when you do have actual values, let's fill this out as well. So instead of making roughly $750, $68.97 family contributions, and you're projecting to make the same amount over the next 3 weeks. So for then, what you would do is you'd update these and with a new budget. So if you keep going sort of at the rate that you're going now, and I would leave these two the same, just because this is budgeted money that you don't need to spend, but you can if you need to. If you continue as you're going now, then this is the amount that you'll end up with. And maybe that's not enough, and you want to make more, so then you'll make adjustments, and you're going to say, okay, so my initial estimate of how much I was going to spend on socializing was a little low, so let's put that in at 200 and try to compromise. And groceries, I think it was 175. 175 was too low, so let's allow for 225, just because that seems more realistic. And then you would have that amount of money. And yeah, it's something that I've found quite helpful. I usually go back, I try and keep all my receipts, and I go through it at the end of the month to update the budget for the month that I've just been through, just to see how well I am sticking to my budget and how much I will need to save, to be just keeping an eye on August, because come September again, I know that I'll be paying another, probably my tuition will have gone up again. So let's say even more money. And that a bunch of these values, let's say you're living, or you're getting a house off campus, so you're going to be paying a little more. Maybe groceries, let's say we keep doing the same. Personal social, 100. Cell phone, your cell phone rate's going to stay the same. Your health and other budget will stay the same. Let's say you want to pay your loan back by July so that you don't have to worry about it in August. Your parents aren't helping you over the summer. Part-time work. You're not going to work in April, but let's say you start working in May and you make, sure, that much a month. And then you work until school starts again. I believe that this is, there we go. That's why. numbers were too big. Okay. Yeah, and then that's how much you would have. Let's say over the summer you're living with your parents again, so you don't need to worry about those two, but you're hanging out with your friends more, so you're going to spend more money socializing. Yeah, and then July you decide to pay back your loan. You pay that back there, and then that would be 0. And then yeah, that sort of helps you keep track and helps you be mindful of how much you are spending. And I hope it helps.